Buckle up for another episode of Ghost Phasers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
You'll never see your friend again. Tear down this.
Nixon? Let's get into it.
Ghost Phasers! We're facing ghosts, when others will not, we're ghosts! Ghost Phasers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghost Phasers! We're facing nightmare, we're facing dread! Ghost Phasers! We're facing faceless, we're facing dead!
Welcome to Ghost Phasers. Today we're discussing Season 6, Episode 16.
Yeah.
Then there were none.
Now there were none.
And then there were none.
Now there were none.
It's not even real English. In grade 7 or 6, I wrote a story called "And Then There Were Three."
Okay.
And then there was one. That's what it was.
I mean, that's cooler.
Yeah, and then there was
there
one.
were three.
Yeah, no. And then there was one, and it was about like a you had to like write a story and like draw pictures and stuff for it.
Oh, we had a similar kind of thing. It was like, yeah.
And my story was about like a group of like people who went like on like a kayaking canoeing trip and stuff like that, and everybody died but one person.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Our version of that assignment was you had to start with a map, like Tolkien style, and then write a story. And
I did pretty good.
I believe you'll find that I did the assignment.
Yeah, the problem was the teacher was like, I don't need to know about the 3,000 years before this story happened.
I did a decent amount of that.
You're like, here's all of the like preliminary books you're gonna want to read before you get to this.
The reason
one.
These mountains are here is obviously because God raised them to keep out the spiders.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. This episode aired March 4th, 2011.
Okay.
It was written by Brett Matthews, directed by Mike Kroll, and viewed by an estimated 2.14 million viewers. Only
still above 2. I am truly shocked at season 6.
Well, especially considering like how much in this season everybody's like, well, yeah, and this season didn't do that well.
So consistent though. It's
yeah.
Like we've convinced 2 million of these suckers.
Yeah, they'll watch anything.
Well, we could literally do anything at this point. You see, last week we just made them play themselves.
Yep. Well, let's watch the promo for this week.
Sure. I don't mind that promo.
It's cool,
but
I've got nothing to do with the episode.
But I've also got a real problem with the fact that they show Samuel with a bullet wound in his head.
Oh, yeah.
In the promo.
I mean, look, they wanted people to watch the episode, and finding out that Samuel's going to die.
Gets a bullet right between the eyes.
You're like, fuck yeah, I got to see this happen.
Fair.
But yeah, it's weird because it plays it like, oh, something's going wrong with everybody's heads. Like they're thinking things are happening that aren't. And it's like, no, it is in their head like an actual thing.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it doesn't make any sense.
It is an actual. You see it in the promo though. You see the thing in the ear.
Yeah, I know, but the way that they're like, it's in their head, and like, it's not your TV.
Yeah,
it's weird.
You know what you don't want to hear?
What's that?
It's Dean go, "It's not in me."
Oh, and you go, but it is.
Like it has been.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I deserve this.
Ow.
All right. International titles this week.
Yeah, hit me. What do we got, baby?
Okay. Woof.
Is that woof like they're bad or woof like there's a lot of them?
You'll see.
I don't know why you can't just answer the question.
It's more complicated than that.
Okay.
So, the title...
Are they racist? Oh, no.
The title refers to an Agatha Christie novel with the same name.
Right. And now there's one.
And then there were none. It's not my book. It's not based off of the book I wrote in grade 6.
Laughing hurts my back. I pulled muscles in my back. My laughing hurts.
Yeah, how did you do that again?
I was reaching
for
greatness.
It makes sense why you hurt yourself.
Yeah, it's too far.
All right, we'll start with the German title.
Okay. I think this one is Casualties of Worm.
The German title is Then We Almost Got Them All.
I don't know, man. I think a little comedic bleep might be in order.
Then there was almost none.
The
German title is Then They Were All Gone. Still, not the part I was talking about.
Jeez.
All right, the next is the French title.
French title is Never Forgive.
So the French title is about the B plot.
Like about Bobby and Rufus?
No.
Which B plot? There's so many.
I would say the A plot is the one thing the episode's about, and the B plot's the other thing.
Oh, it is just like time's up, Gramps.
No, it's Eve's return.
Oh, that B plot.
Yeah, the main other thing.
I don't know. It's barely a B plot, I think.
I think the majority of it happens inside of the cannery.
Yeah, interesting. I guess technically, yes. All right.
Now's the Hungarian title.
Oh, Jesus, what did you do, Hungary?
This is the worst thing I've seen.
I'm about to say a thing.
Yes.
I want it to be very clear. I'm trying to reach for what I think would be a horrible title.
Okay.
The black guy dies.
You're not that far.
I was worried about this.
It's worse than that.
Can we say it?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry, hang on. I want you to be honest with me, not just for comedy. It's so bad, like we'll bleep it, like legit bleep it, not just for funds.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Please remember to actually, like, I know you're about to say.
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, wait. Here,
I will.
Let's move the mics far away and then let me read it or something.
No. It's fine. I'll say the better version of it, but you'll understand what it actually is.
Okay, but I also want to read it after. I need to know the truth.
I'll tell you more information too after we're done. The Hungarian title is 10 Little N-Words.
It's not.
It is.
It can't be.
I'll give you some context. It is.
Like,
yep.
And when you're saying that, you're saying
yep.
The title doesn't say N-word.
Nope.
It says
yep.
What the fuck? Hungary?
So,
listen, Hungary has a big history of voting like Nazis into parliament, so I shouldn't be surprised, but this is how are we 6 seasons in?
Oh, I know.
Oh no.
So,
okay.
The novel was first published in the US under the title 10 Little Indians. Its original title, as it was published in the UK, utilized a word we now consider highly offensive.
Yeah, I imagine it was offensive at the time, too.
Yeah. So that's what Hungary is calling it, is based off of its original title and not what it is now, which is, and then there were none. Yup. Insane. Look, I mean, it's written there.
Jesus.
You could see it in the language and assume that they wrote it out.
So sorry, where's the original title of the Agatha Christie novel?
Yes.
And then there were none.
Yeah.
Was
10
Little Indians.
Yeah. No.
Oh, the original title was that Agatha Christie.
Yes.
At Saturn Typewriter, she's like, I have a great idea for a title.
Yep.
Holy shit.
So that's based off of there's an old like nursery song. It's like 1 little, 5 little, 10 little.
Oh, that's what it used to be. I know the also not good version, but
yeah, it originally was that.
Man, also nobody Google eeny meeny miny mo.
I mean, yeah, that wasn't tigers. Nope.
Good Lord.
I know. I couldn't, but I was like, I like jaw dropped when I saw it.
That's aggressive.
Hungary has never come to the table so hard and so badly.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I mean, they were in the Triple Alliance in World War One.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
I don't think I can keep going.
I know. TV Guy describes this episode.
Yeah, are we supposed to do comedy now?
I know. TV Guy describes this episode as Sam and Dean search for a deadly monster created by the mother of all and are assisted in their hunt by Bobby and Samuel.
Right.
No mention of Rufus there. Interesting.
Yeah. Did Hungary write that for TV Guide?
No. Oh no. 10 little Rufuses.
Good Lord.
Anyways, before we start talking about this episode, why don't we open up Dad's journal and learn about racism?
Yeah. Let's learn about.
Let's learn how to.
Oh no. Yeah, let's see what the lore says about parasitic animals.
Whoa.
So,
I guess we're going to wait for the other monster.
well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why you stumbled around that. Obviously, it's not in this one. It's going to be in another one.
I mean, I'm talking about the monster of this one, so.
Why? Well, because the B plot is the other monster.
I mean, again, I think it's a C plot, but anyway.
Wow. All right.
Jesus. Anyway, sorry, just fully.
Parasitic monsters.
Right. I think it's
Or
in the
creatures.
zeitgeist right now in general because, the Last of Us TV
That's
show is
right.
That's all about, like a
Fungi.
version of the cordyceps fungus, right? So we've all seen that Planet Earth where this fungus gets into an ant and it latches into its brain and directs it and changes its behavior and mood all so that it can propagate itself more. Yeah. And it's super fucked up. And then
Did you watch the show yet?
No, I haven't. But The Last of Us, the game and the show, both take that idea and say, what if there was a human variant cordyceps, basically? Those are fungi, though. Those are we're talking about something that is, kind of essentially neither plant nor animal.
Yeah.
There are animal parasites that do similar things where, in order to secure their ideal, reproductive conditions or whatever, they will, alter the chemistry or the function of the neurology of another being.
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
To serve its purpose. So I just kind of wanted to go through some different ones for this because it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So here, there's a I think it's called a fluke, but basically it's Euhaplorchus californiensis.
What?
It's the Latin taxonomy of it.
Yeah.
But it's it starts life in an ocean-dwelling horn snail. And then its larvae then seek their next host, which is a killifish. So once it's in the fish, this parasite, this larval parasite, latches onto its gills and makes its way to the brain.
Oh my god!
And it has to crawl in because it's an animal, right? We're not talking about something small like a spore that just finds its way, or a bacteria or something. This is a thing that is crawling and moving inside a fish. So it goes in through the gills, works to the brain, and then basically its ultimate goal is to get inside the stomach of a water bird. That's where it would reproduce. So when it's in the fish, it basically releases chemicals that alter the fish's brain chemistry.
Yep.
And cause the fish to jerk around and jump and move erratically.
Oh wow.
So that it's more obvious to birds flying overhead.
Oh wow.
So
it wants to get in a bird.
Yeah. So this thing is in the fish, releases a chemical that makes the fish go, I'm over here, I'm over here. The bird catches the fish, eats it with this thing inside where it then reproduces. The bird shits it out, and then it ends up in this it'll find a snail again and work its way into a fish, and the whole thing starts all over again.
It doesn't hurt the bird though?
Not from what I've read.
Weird.
No. which is super crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes the fish behave more aggressively and stuff. It like suppresses dopamine and stuff like that. Like it's all brain chemistry stuff. So here's another one. This is from a National Geographic article, and the little subheading here says suicidal crickets, which is like when you kill yourself and no one's around.
I mean, that's generally most suicides.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess we don't need a term for that.
Yeah.
Huh. So
That's suicide by cop. But.
So this is about a creature called a hairworm. So the hair.
What happened to you?
Sorry, I obviously don't have hairworms.
Well, I know that's what happened.
So these are parasitic creatures that need to be in like an aquatic habitat to reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not usually where they like end up. You know, like we're talking about like birds eating fish and going somewhere else. It's a similar kind of principle. So a hairworm is usually finds itself like on land. It has to get to water. So they produce mind-controlling chemicals that alter the chemistry of their host, which is a cricket usually, to move toward light. So water bodies reflect moonlight, and this sends crickets towards lakes and streams. So again, it's like it's not saying like go left now, do this.
Yeah.
But it is saying like you want light, go to the light.
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So then the crickets jump in and drown, and then the hairworms emerge and reproduce.
Wow.
Super fucked up. There's another one in here.
I didn't realize there were so many.
I mean, it's really
Disturbing.
It's really disturbing. Some of these. I'm gonna read one here that really kind of scared me.
Yeah.
The subheading of this is zombified cockroaches.
Whoa.
So, a jewel wasp. When the female is ready to procreate, she finds a cockroach to serve as a living nursery for her young.
Jesus.
Animals do this kind of shit.
Yes.
It's not
Unheard of.
of. But here's the insane bit of it. Sorry, just got to scroll past an ad for meat girls from Ukraine.
Speaking of cockroach zombies.
Yeah, they wasn't hungry. So the wasp injects a toxin into the roach that paralyzes its front legs.
Okay.
That's already fucked up. Then the wasp strikes again in the roach's head. It's been discovered that the venom targets a specific area of the brain responsible for initiating movement. So stripped of its ability to move on its own free will. So keep in mind, the cockroach is alive.
Yes.
But it cannot move on its own. But the cockroach can be grabbed by the antenna and guided to a burrow, like Ratatouille style.
Jesus.
So then they guide it underground, and then the wasp will lay her eggs on the victim and entomb them together.
Jesus.
So this wasp like paralyzes a cockroach, then injects a different thing, then grabs its antennae and steers it underground.
That's insane.
Lays a bunch of eggs and then buries it alive.
That's awful.
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
That's awful.
Isn't that insane?
I hate that you did this. Oh God!
Right?
It makes my skin crawl.
There's a parasitic animal in the episode that we're talking about today. A parasitic monster.
Yes.
And in the episode, they call it a conworm.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about this. There are two versions of what is essentially the same kind of mind-controlling larva or insect in Star Trek.
Weird.
In Star Trek 2...
It's funny that you're talking about a thing that I'm obviously...
Well, I don't know. It's the monster of the week, and I do the lore segment. You should have thought of this. In Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, on SETI Alpha 5, which is a planet that Khan and his crew are stranded on. There's these things called SETI eels.
Scientific.
There's these things called SETI eels. the larvae of setae eels basically crawl in through the ear, latch onto the brainstem, causes great pain.
Just
It makes
keep
you like
going.
vulnerable
Uh-huh.
to suggestion. They use it in the movie to like basically take over Chekhov, and Chekhov's
do they?
the captain.
Is that
and-
a thing that they do in that?
Yeah, they do. And it usually just ends in madness and death.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different version of this that is like the setae eel larvae are very small. They crawl in through the ear. In the 2009 Star Trek movie,
Oh, there's a different thing that happens.
yeah, with
too.
J.J.
Oh, wow.
Abrams.
Thanks
one,
for enlightening me.
they just use a full like beetle-looking fucking thing.
Yeah,
But that's a Centaurian slug.
of course it is.
And the
Yeah.
Centaurian slug, they just drop it down Captain Pike's throat. Like, it's massive. Like, it's bigger than a thing you would put in your mouth.
I mean,
And
speak for yourself.
And it crawls in and, I guess, theoretically, like, burrows through your esophagus and latches onto your brainstem. And then it secretes a chemical that, again, makes you vulnerable to, to suggestion, susceptible to suggestion. They use it in that movie to get access to the subspace defense grid surrounding Earth.
is what they
So,
do.
at any rate, parasitic animals, they're a thing in fiction, they're a thing in real life, and the Star Trek reference happens in this episode.
Yeah. We typically talk about the real world lore, not the other media that's referenced by it.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what they call a cold dish.
I'll never forget this.
Revenge.
Yeah, you're gonna do the fucking lore and revenge. I
I mean,
get
this
it.
is also a line from Star Trek 2. Revenge is a dish best serves cold.
I'm gonna fucking leave you on a cold dead planet, buried alive, like the fucking cockroach.
Con! Con!
Let's get into today's episode. Do you have another one?
He tasks
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I will chase him through the entire maelstrom and through perdition's flames before I let him go.
Anyways,
We're sending over the prefix code now, Con. Just a bunch of random lines.
Yeah. So behind the scenes for this episode, before we get into it, I fucking knew it.
It shall always be your friend.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Spock. Appreciate it.
The needs of the many.
Okay. A minor detail about this episode is that most of the cast and crew, except for Jared, suffered from terrible colds during the filming of this episode.
Oh, little colds. Is it so bad?
Yeah, and they had to all wear masks and separate.
Yeah, this show definitely didn't see.
Yeah, that's never affected this show in any sort of ways.
Hey, can we make a finale where no one is there?
Yeah,
What was that?
the old man face.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
All right,
Can't
we
wait till
begin
we
the
get
episode with the then. We're getting shots of Rufus. We're getting Samuel.
Yeah.
We're getting the betrayal from Samuel.
Yeah.
We're getting Dean still wanting to kill Samuel.
Yeah. Next time I see you.
Yeah. We're getting some extended family in there. That those are people are out there.
Yeah. I think it's the first time I actually heard the words "she's your third cousin."
Yes.
I was like, did they ADR that for this? Like, I don't remember that in the episode.
I know.
Is that a clip they didn't use? Yeah.
We have the ending of the previous episode with the opening of Purgatory.
Yeah.
And
Well, actually, no. I mean,
was
that's
2 episodes ago.
the dragon episode.
yeah. As well as what came out.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the now.
Yeah.
We open on a truck stop as a woman approaches a trucker for a ride.
I mean, it's Eve. We've seen her before. We saw her at the end of that episode.
That woman, Eve. But because I don't know if they call her Eve until this episode.
I know. No, maybe not. But we know she's the mother of all, at least, because we saw her at the end of that episode.
I mean, fucking mommy for sure.
She doesn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she 1,000%.
It's
If
a
she
little-
had glasses on, would be
A little too meek.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she doesn't seem like she could boss me around. She picks the one trucker that won't just fuck someone.
I know. Yeah, it's the one trucker that believes in God and
Yeah.
like thinks that he can save her.
Like actually actively like
Yes.
practicing Christian.
Yeah. But Eve tries to kiss the man. He pushes her off of him.
Well, he's like, where are you going? She's like, as far as you want. And then he's like, I want you to read this brochure. I have some literature.
I do like a woman like that.
I mean, I do too, but just, I don't know. Not doing it for me.
No. All right. But she ends up slipping something into him.
Yeah, right into his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we then see later on that night
she has like a whole conversation about like
God and Jesus.
You mean like why would you believe in your God? He abandoned you. A mother would. Yeah, it's me, Cass. I just really need to get fucked. Ow. Ow.
Oh, what's the term for people who do that?
What do you mean? Catfishing?
No. Who like hang out at like truck stops and sleep with
I don't know.
people?
Is there a term?
Yeah, there is. I can't think of what
okay.
it is. I'm sure the audience will tell us.
But she has this thing about like God abandoned you. A mother would never do that.
Yeah.
It's like, we get it. You're the mother of all. That's the shtick.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she slips the thing into his ear.
Yeah.
And then we cut to later on that night. He's clearly like going home, I think.
Yeah, he's at his house.
Yeah.
And then his
beats
wife,
his wife to death.
he stands like at the bed. You already know something's up. He's
Yeah,
standing
yeah.
weird. The wife wakes up. She's like, oh, hey, hun. He's got a hammer.
Yeah.
And you don't see it. Like,
Yeah.
you get just the camera angle
Ugh.
looking up at him. But it's not only just that the hammer comes down, you hear a crunch.
Yeah.
It's that he makes it look like it's stuck.
Yeah.
Like, the acting is like the...
Yeah.
And he like does it again. It's fucking effective.
Rough. Yeah.
It's like it's just a little subtle,
Yeah.
like because he could have just lifted the hammer
Yeah.
back up and done it again, but it's that like,
Ugh.
it really works for me.
Yeah. What a cold open.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So we know Eve's causing mischief.
yeah, at least.
At the very least.
Yeah,
We then cut to
the
Bobby.
apocalypse is over. Now we just deal with mischief.
We had mayhem. Now it's mischief.
Oh, that's the thing that she says in the truck. She's like, "Your apocalypse came and went. You didn't even fucking notice."
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
your God is nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we then cut to Bobby telling Sam and Dean about numerous reports of monster activity that he's been getting from other hunters.
And it's tracking along the interstate, like they're following
ghouls
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
All the monsters seem to be springing up along the I-80 leading to Sandusky, Ohio. God, it's the only reason why anybody would go to Sandusky is because that they're like monsters.
Yeah.
Where Rick, the trucker, was murdered and his whole family was killed with a hammer.
Yeah, it's interesting that like the killing the wife thing and like the way
Yeah.
he does the hammer thing is grotesque in that. But then in this scene, they go like he killed his whole family and go, so he didn't go with like killing the kids as like the shock thing. It just seemed like weird to be like, okay, I guess, and that. It was already pretty grotesque.
Yeah, I mean they rarely kill kids like visually in this.
No, but
show.
but you don't even see the wife
Yeah,
die visually.
yeah.
I just mean like
Yeah.
there's no like he does it to the wife and then the door opens and you hear Dad and he turns and they go
Yeah.
you know
It's
like,
hammer time.
you know like
oh
insane needle drop. Whoa, ow.
Why would you do
I
that?
tried to do the
Why would you do that?
because comedy's in my blood.
Yeah, as well as chicken.
There's so much. It's like I'd say 30% comedy, 45% cholesterol, and then whatever else you needed blood.
The red stuff.
10% alcohol,
Yeah.
and then the rest.
Yeah.
Iron and shit.
Yeah. Okay. So Bobby, Dean, and Sam all go to question the trucker,
Yeah.
who has no memory of the event at all.
Yeah, so like he's in custody and he's just like he's bringing down and he's like, I love my family. What the fuck? I like
Yeah.
But he also describes that he woke up in his truck like way out of town. So like
Yeah.
after this happened, he was still blacked out for a bit and he like drove all the way out.
Yeah.
He said, I went back home and then I saw what happened.
Yeah.
Theoretically, he even turned himself in.
Totally.
You
Yeah.
know?
The last memory he has is of this woman, of Eve, like asking him for a ride.
Yeah.
So we then, at the police station, they then go and watch the footage from the gas station security camera and see Eve walk up to him.
And her face does like every monster thing that we've seen on a screen before. Like a few different things are happening.
Static goes across the screen, obscuring her face. But what looks like a monster, Bobby speculates that they're dealing with the mother of all.
Yeah. Because he's like, I know a mommy when I see her. All the cast again. That's the only voice
I know. But also, like, I mean, his
mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy.
Nice.
That would have been the Pizza Man bit if Supernatural started in 2021.
Yes, absolutely.
We would have had cast going, mommy. Sorry,
mommy. Sorry. So while they're at the police station,
make my God dress like angels.
Anyway,
sorry, I'm done.
So while they are, it's make Eve dress like a demon or a ghoul or something.
Yeah.
While they're at the police station, a call comes in that a man has gone postal at the Starlight Cannery, and Bobby goes along with the responders while Sam and Dean stay behind.
Yeah.
At the cannery, Bobby meets Rufus.
I do love seeing like FBI mode.
Yeah,
Bobby, because he shows up and then they're like, what is it, like a Fed convention? And then Rufus comes out and agent.
Love this.
Yeah.
And they learned that a worker came to the cannery with a hunting rifle and killed 6 others before being shot by police.
Yeah. Bobby's like, well, we should question him. Rufus is like, you can. It might be a little one-sided. They put 8 bullets in him. He's like, Jesus, Rufus, just say he's dead.
Rufus has got so many good lines in this.
Rufus is so like, oh, man.
Rufus partners up with him, and they go to the morgue where they examine the man's body.
Yeah.
They do find a black ooze in one of his ears, but they assume at first it's ectoplasm.
Which we've only encountered in that, like, Poltergeist?
I think so.
Yep. Because it's like a certain level of like
ghost
hunting and ghost and interaction that actually does it.
I do like that.
It's pretty rare to see ectoplasm.
It's a small writing thing, but I do love that like Rufus says ecto instead of ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that like you would assume that
you have some sort of industry like abbreviation for
exactly.
it. Yeah, totally.
But they're stumped as to what could have caused this.
Yeah.
They decide that they're going to go investigate the cannery. So all of the guys, Bobby, Sam, Dean, and Rufus all go to the cannery at night. They encounter none other than Samuel and Gwen.
Samuel and Gwen are
the last living fucking relatives.
Well, they encounter Gwen first.
Yes.
And then Samuel's like in the back through some doors. I love this moment. And it only works because this show gives us a then and a now. Because in the then, we see Dean say, the next time that you see me, I'm coming to kill you. And then in this scene, Dean like busts through the door, takes out his gun, he goes, welcome to next time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. And it's only because Sam moves his gun that he doesn't just fucking like point blank shoot Samuel in the face. Like Dean's going for it. It's not like a bluff. He's not just holding it up and being like, I told you.
Yeah.
He was just going to do it.
Yeah.
And fucking welcome to next time. I was like,
such a good line.
Or like say hello to next time or whatever it is. It's so fucking good.
But Sam persuades that Samuel might be useful in the hunt. And he's even, Dean's just like, you don't know. And he's like, I don't know. But guess what? You can kill him.
Yeah.
Why don't we try to use him
then
for
Samuel's
this?
like, you look well. He's like, I got my soul back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dean leaves angry, and Samuel takes note of Sam's soul.
Right.
And Rufus has then Samuel explain to the others that the case they're on involves the mother of all, also known as Eve.
Yeah, Samuel, again, knows a lot, and we're not totally sure why, but I guess we can assume that he's been torturing enough alphas that he knows more than most hunters.
There is a
funny about it.
There's a fun moment where Samuel refers to Bobby as like boy or something. Like,
because Samuel's saying like the mother of all, she's where all monsters come from.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. And Bobby goes like, where do you get? He goes like, I know all sorts of stuff you don't know, boy.
And I was like, oh yeah,
he is.
Yeah, I mean, in like a couple different ways. No.
At least he said it to Bobby.
Yes. Jeez.
Would have been a real Hungarian episode if
Yeah, real Hungarian misstep. Yeah. So as they talk, Bobby mentions that Samuel's betrayal of Sam and Dean, and Gwen is shocked and leaves to go talk to Dean because basically Dean
Gwen
stays
doesn't
away.
know that Samuel was
Gave
like,
him up to ghouls.
yeah, like go eat my grandkids. Yeah.
She tells Dean that she didn't know about Samuel's betraying Sam and Dean to Crowley, and then Dean just
Well, Dean goes, I know you didn't know, but also
guess what?
and he shoots her
Yeah. Cold right in the chest.
right
yeah.
in the chest. See, Gwen,
I mean, yeah, that too.
mother of all, less so.
Mommy of
Gwen,
Yeah. The others rush into the room and find Gwen dying. They assume that Dean has been infected like the other two men who went postal, and they search for her.
yeah, they were like, it's got to be something in the cannery. We got to find Dean before he finds us.
Exactly.
You know,
Uh,
I do like. I always like the tension of like
one of us.
they're trained too well. Like they know what we would
Yeah.
do. That's a good device for me. Like not just in Supernatural, but in in comic books. Like, oh, Batman went rogue. He knows like who could beat Batman. You know what I mean? Or like in James Bond, it was another 00. It's like, well, he knows all the
Yeah.
That's always a kind of thing I enjoy. Yeah,
totally.
good tension.
When they do find Dean, they're about to like pull guns on him, and he says that he woke up and there was a worm thing coming out of his ear. He's not infected anymore.
Yeah,
And they dub the creature the con worm.
yeah.
And then there's some fucking lore about that.
Well,
thing,
what's
but
great
who's
is
to
that we
know?
already covered it, so
Yeah.
we don't need like a worse version of whatever.
No, it's great.
We're gonna say
I'll remember that. Together, the hunters.
if you want to do that, if you come for the king,
I can outlaw you. There's research I can do all day. I got nothing but time.
you
got a new job.
you poor pathetic soul, you have to do research for lore. I am lore.
I am the information you made along the way.
I've transcended this feeble flesh suit.
Yeah, you are the type of person that would like change their consciousness to a computer.
Of course I would. I'm halfway there.
Bobby has everybody give up their guns because he's just like, look, if we don't know who's got it in them, at least one person, that person
Yeah,
will be.
slappers only.
Yes, exactly.
And Bobby opens the bag and says slappers only.
So funny.
That would be really good.
And he locks them in a locker. When Samuel leaves,
We're in this facility, and all we have are these proximity mines.
and one guy's got a hat,
Yeah, GoldenEye, baby.
which is in that game thing.
But in the original GoldenEye, he didn't throw the hat. When they did the update re-release of GoldenEye, they made it so that was grenades. If you were Oddjob, grenades was the hat.
Yeah. Also, if you play Oddjob, you're a bastard.
I don't know. Just learn how to use the C thing.
It's hard. Anyways, when Samuel leaves the room, Sam and Dean follow and confront him about what happened with Crowley.
Yeah.
But Samuel is not apologetic.
Yeah, Jesus. He's like, yeah, what I did was messed up, but also...
What are you going to do?
Oops.
Whoopsie doopsies.
Yeah. Whoopsie doopsie.
And doesn't blame them for wanting to kill him, though.
Yeah, like, but any other character, they'd be like, I fucked up, but I don't know what to say to make it better. And he's just like, yeah, I fucked up, but like, ugh. There's no remorse at all. He's just like, yeah, well, when you're working with a demon.
Dean then makes it clear to Samuel that after this case is done, he is going to kill him.
Which I get Dean doubling down where it's like, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
But also it's like, now not only do you have to worry about the case, you all are thinking of like, as soon as it's like,
moment.
Now everyone is like doing the chess moves thing.
Exactly.
And at what point maybe the case doesn't get solved, but Samuel is like, this is my shot to save myself. Like, you kind of probably shouldn't say it.
I know.
It's kind of probably a misstep.
But it's just, he's so confident, I think that's the key.
Although Samuel might have reached that conclusion even if it wasn't said. So,
So Samuel then pulls an extra gun he had hidden and then tries to shoot him.
Yeah.
He is obviously now infected with the worm.
Yeah.
They try to stop him.
Also in this, sorry, I just want to mention, just to keep track of this thread.
Yeah.
In this scene, Samuel says to Sam, like, do you want to know everything you did?
Yeah.
Because he's like, you're fucking judging me? Like, I've seen you do crazy shit. And he's like, you want me to tell you? And Sam is like, yes. And Dean's like, no.
Fucking Sam, you idiot. Like, why are you still trying to kill yourself? Like,
hey, what's behind that wall?
yeah, Jesus Christ. Scritch, scritch, scritch. They try to stop him and he escapes. Eventually,
Grandfather Samuel, tear down this wall.
That's pretty good. I kind of like that.
Such a weird joke.
Tear down that wall.
Well, no, it's not Nixon.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to do the Reagan kind of. It's more like I can't do it. Yeah. General Secretary. Or no, is it Nixon? Under Reagan it comes down.
Okay, yeah. Reagan's just Nixon.
So is
light?
Nixon the one that gives the speech though? General Secretary Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
That's a great question. I don't know. I
feel like I should know my American history better than that.
Anyways, eventually Sam finds and confronts Samuel alone. Samuel says that he will tell Sam about all the things that he did without a soul. But
He's Reagan. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, I'm doing something important over here. I was right that it was Reagan. I just can't do a Reagan voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's much more fun to do a Nixon.
It is. Man.
Only just as fun as it is to do Clinton.
Wow. I don't think I recognized that you were doing Clinton.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing Clinton. It's fun.
You know what? That's better than what I was going to do. I realized what I was going to do is just McConaughey.
I was going to say, I'm like, is this going to be that situation where I do an accent that you go, that's not what it would sound like, and then you do it exactly as I did it. Different podcast. So Samuel and Sam are confronting each other, and Samuel keeps progressing towards Sam, and Sam's like, fucking stop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm not going to ask
you
again.
Don't come closer. Don't come closer.
But eventually, Sam,
he takes one step too many, and Sam just pops him
right in the head. I mean, he barely knows this guy.
Here's the thing. I kind of respect this.
Yeah.
Even in the TV show. Because how many times on every other show do they go, don't take another step.
I
don't
know.
You dare take it. And then it's like, well, you're not going to do it. And they call the bluff. And in this one, he's like, you're not going to do it. You got your soul back. And he's just like, bam.
He's like, yeah, I'm still not a fucking idiot.
Like,
and I'm a hunter. Yeah, like.
I've killed.
This episode does bring does bridge the gap a bit between Soulless Sam and Sam.
I think it's good.
Because I think like
he's not a full softy.
Yeah, exactly. Like 5 seasons ago, he would have held back on a lot of this kind of stuff. But it's like no, these guys are progressing and getting like colder, and also he's barely met.
Not even colder, but it's the survival part of being a hunter, right? Like
yeah. But also Sam has never met Samuel. Like he doesn't have a relationship with him.
Oh shit! Oh
yeah, like
shit.
This is it.
Well, he went back in time once.
Dean went back in time.
But didn't they both go back in time once?
With Samuel?
No, maybe Samuel wasn't there. You're right. They just met Mary and...
He has no idea.
Holy shit. You're right. Sam has never met Samuel.
Yeah, so he's just like, whatever. He's like, there's a concept that you were my grandfather, but also you were dead before I ever met you. Like, it's fine.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So I actually don't think this is kind of crazy. When the others find them, they are uncertain whether the worm was in Samuel or if it is in Sam. So they tie up Sam,
right,
and resolve to cut open Samuel's head to check for the conworm.
Well, and they decide to do that because there's none of the goo
is in his ear. Yeah.
And they don't know if like whatever it is has gotten smarter and is covering its tracks. Exactly. Like they don't know.
So Sam,
but I do love like Rufus being like, you got a cranial saw in your trunk. Bobby's like, what do you think?
Of course I do.
You think I'm an Egypt?
I love that. So Sam and Dean leave the room because I love Bobby's just like,
take
hey,
a walk. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you're great. You just shot your grandfather in the head. Now we're gonna cut open his head.
Yeah, and they're like, we're fine.
And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Get the hell out
I
of
like
here.
how every once in a while Bobby's like, I know our lives are fucked up, but like let's pretend that this is not okay.
Yes, exactly. It does parent them a bit, which is nice.
Which is also like a thing that came up earlier where, Samuel's like, oh, you must be the one pretending to be their dad.
Oh,
Bobby's
yeah.
like, someone ought to. And there's kind of like a...
So good.
I do kind of love like all the old man fucking
there's good
energy
old man energy here.
between Rufus and Bobby and Samuel. This episode has a lot of like, I know best. You think I didn't think it? Like there's...
I don't know why kids can't buy a house for $7,000 anymore.
Three of them are all like pushing each other out of the way to help a truck back up. They each have their idea of what the signals should be.
Yeah, they're all telling Sam and Dean that they need to stop buying so much avocado toast so that they can afford a mortgage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you saved $7.50 every week.
Yeah, you'd be able to buy a house by now.
Yeah, right?
There was a thing I saw the other day on TikTok that was this girl talking about how her parents
is this the thing where there was the money from the grandmother for the big purchase and the parents were like, we don't know whether to give it to you or not because you haven't bought a house yet or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's like $1,500. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Incredible. So Rufus and Bobby then prepare to cut Samuel's skull, and they get in like maybe they start going into his head, but right before that,
just a little bit. Yeah,
they do have they discuss an unfortunate hunt that they were on in together in Omaha.
Yeah,
and it's interesting because Rufus is very much like didn't say it. Rufus is just like, we've talked about this. Don't bring it up.
He's also the one that no. Hang on. Earlier, maybe I got to make sure we get this right now. Maybe in a previous scene, Bobby says like, I've got a plan or something. Oh, it's about the gun bag.
Oh,
and Rufus was like, it was a fine idea, but like whoever had the thing wasn't going to give up all their guns. Or
sure.
He's like, well, I had to have some sort of plan. He goes like, oh, like Omaha, and Bobby goes like, that's not fair, or whatever. And then in this scene, Bobby goes like, I've been thinking about Omaha, but now Rufus doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, nope. And Bobby's like, no, it was my fault, and I should have listened or whatever. And Rufus essentially says like, no, I haven't forgiven you for that.
I never will.
I will never forgive you for Omaha. Don't talk about it. Let's move on. He's clearly fine to work with Bobby.
Which is crazy because
to be relatively friendly, but he will not exonerate Bobby for whatever he did in Omaha.
I think that it's interesting because you immediately makes you go, oh, does he have the worm in him or something?
Right. Well, yeah, because it's like, is the worm like accessing these like painful memories to use them again? Exactly.
I think that it's an interesting thing to be like. It's an interesting thing to write in.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be there, but it is like
it doesn't. It doesn't need to be there, other than the fact that if it doesn't happen now, it doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, but also it kind of doesn't happen. Like,
well, I just mean because there's no.
I know, but they don't know that.
Yeah,
but also like. It's not like it resolves, so it like makes it the ending better.
Yeah, it's true, but just kind of interesting.
It's just I find it like an interesting like social thing to put in there to be like, look, these guys you can be friends with somebody and have a thing that you never really get over. That doesn't mean that like just because you have differing opinions or something bad happened doesn't mean you have to like obliterate your friendship. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, theoretically, that's a lesson Sam and Dean should take.
Yeah, but. They basically just like they then go back to cutting into Samuel's skull, and the conworm then animates Samuel's dead body.
Yeah, he gets back up and we get an old man fight. Because
the
first thing Samuel does is flip a table, break off the leg, and jam it through the handles of the door, so Sam and Dean can't get back in. So it's just an old man fight.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Samuel and Rufus and Bobby.
Totally.
And it's really good. Yeah.
And in the fight, Samuel gets thrown into like a live electrical box.
Yeah, and Bobby's like saw like the cord is all duct taped and there's like exposed wires and shit like that Rufus kind of called him out for, and Bobby's like, it works.
But he's thrown into it and gets electrocuted.
Yeah, and it like like the worm gets out and crawls away somewhere.
I do like Mitch Pileggi getting electrocuted because it's not the first time. So
interesting.
The character Samuel, played by Mitch Pileggi, is thrown into an open electrical junction box and is violently electrocuted.
Yes.
To death. Pileggi played Horace Pinker in Wes Craven's Shocker. 1989, a story about a murderous criminal who gains supernatural powers after he is put to death by the electric chair.
Sorry, hang on. He's in a movie called Shocker, and the character's name is Pinker. Let me guess what the other character's name was. I wonder.
I'm just going to say, he's not a great guy. He's a bit of a stinker.
There's the Pinker brothers. There's two of them. And then there's one stinker cousin.
Yeah. What a rotten guy.
Two in the Pinkers.
One stinker.
One in the stinker.
Yeah. No.
Wes Craven's Shocker. Gave her the old Wes Craven Shocker.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, the worm leaves his body and goes into Bobby.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
No.
Because like both Bobby and Rufus are sort of like unconscious because Worm Samuel had like
yes
big strong
anyways
strength.
Yes, that's the thing. Jesus. So then Sam and Dean kick open the door. They decide they need to figure it out by electrocuting each other.
Yeah, they were like, it's the only thing we've seen that definitively kind of gets this thing out of there.
Pull a live wire out. Dean electrocutes himself first. And there's a great moment where he goes to Sam, and Sam just grabs it and immediately electrocutes himself.
Yeah,
which is cool. And then he goes to do it to Rufus, and Rufus is like, "Hey, whoa!" And they're like, "I mean, look, you've got to deal with this."
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, "Fine." And
so they do it to
Rufus.
Rufus.
Like, "I got a pacemaker." Bobby's like, "When'd you get a pacemaker?"
Yeah, and then they do it, and then Bobby's like, "All right, do it to me next." As he's like backing
and
away.
Rufus is like, "Come on." And then Bobby goes and stabs Rufus
to death.
This episode is such like this makes me feel like the same as the fire sale of an episode when fucking Ellen and Joe
die,
where it's like, oh, it's not just a character you recognize died. 3 characters you recognize die in this episode. Gwen, Samuel, and Rufus.
You're right. I forgot that Gwen was in this episode.
Wow.
Well, I mean, she's barely in the episode.
Yeah, she's just a third cousin. Dean talking to Sam about whether or not he should shoot a shot.
Yeah, she's the third cousin. It's fine. But Bobby stabs and kills Rufus while he's possessed. Sam and Dean then overpower Bobby and tie him up.
Yeah. And then we get a sort of like fucking like Zool.
Yeah, there is no Bobby.
Yeah, we get a sort
There is only Conworm.
Because like there's an effect on his voice, and it's like, you can't hold back the darkness coming. Like there's kind of like that shit happening.
It's kind of cool. I kind of like it.
Yeah, and then they like
learn that the worm is a new creation.
Yeah, the mother of all made this new monster.
Yeah, he's like, I'm kind of new on the scene.
Here's the thing. I like the idea of this. There's a lot about the mother of all, and this is no spoil. Well, not really a spoiler, but like a lot of it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But a thing that I like is that the mother of monsters is not just a threat because she's obviously
can
very
control
powerful,
existing monsters,
and that they probably worship her to some extent.
Yeah.
But also that like she could just make new monsters, be like, worm that eats your brain, it does what I want, and just like now it just exists. So now hunter knowledge is almost obsolete.
Exactly.
She can always make a new thing. You know, it might have a weakness or whatever, but you won't know it because it's a brand new thing. And like I like that as a threat. Conceptually, that is very strong.
It's lucky that it's fucking like electricity and not like some of these monsters where it's like the wood of this tree from Afghanistan that has to stab them only at midnight on like the third day of the fall or something.
Yeah,
like,
Sam and Dean had to go to Kandahar.
Yeah, like seriously though, like some of these monsters.
Yeah, that's true.
But Eve cooked it up to lead these guys all to Sandusky.
Yeah.
That's sort of the thing, because they're like, why are you just going after truckers?
Because it's Sandusky, Ohio.
Where dreams are made of. But the monster says like, oh no, I'm not after like truckers. I'm just here to trap you two and like trick you into coming to Sandusky.
Yeah.
And that she has a message for them.
Right.
Which is she's pissed, she's here, and it's going to be nothing but pain for you from here on in.
Yeah.
Which is like not much of a message to go through all this.
It's pretty vague.
But also,
it's targeted at the Winchesters?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Because here's the thing.
Like, why does Eve know anything about them?
I mean, maybe you know about them because they stopped the apocalypse and stuff like that. Maybe. But here's the thing. They've been not involved in purgatory at all. There's been, Crowley. We know he's after purgatory. Samuel has been torturing alphas like her children, like there's people that she should have legitimate beef with.
Theoretically,
Sam and Dean, the Winchesters, I'm here for you. And it's like that is such a TV show contrivance. Like they haven't done a good enough job putting, I guess maybe Sam theoretically having worked with Samuel for a year,
maybe?
But that's not how they set this up.
No.
Like they could do that and say like you were part of it or whatever, you know what I mean? But they don't. So it's a little weak because they haven't done any work to set up why Sam and Dean are more central to it than they think they are.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
But they then tape over Bobby's mouth and
ears.
Him. Yes.
They tape over.
'Cause they're like, you got nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he does have a nose. Like,
and an anus.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that doesn't look good. And they electrocute him until the worm slithers out of his eyes and ears and like.
Well, the worm like liquefies. Yeah, just all this black goo comes out. Do you know what it? I said Zool, but you know what it is that it made me think of? This is not going to be a surprise at all. It's when Saruman's voice is speaking through King Theoden. That's what that whole Bobby thing makes me think of.
Sure.
But yeah, like Dean has a good like Bobby, if you're in there, just hang on.
Yeah.
And they like basically burn this thing. But we, the goo is coming out, and then we cut. And when we cut back from commercial, Sam and Dean are standing over a grave. We're just looking, and then Bobby walks up.
I was like, what an unnecessary shitty move.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
I kind of think it's funny.
I sort of respect that.
I do too. Just for a second. And that's when Dean and Sam make a comment about like, oh, I didn't expect Rufus to be like the religious type. We find out that Rufus is buried in what is obviously a Jewish cemetery rather than given a hunter's funeral pyre.
Yeah. And that's another reason why Hungary doesn't like him.
Oh, no. 2 for 1. Oh, no.
You mean he's also one of
those? Anyways,
let's just say he's not going to a lot of Hungarian fan conventions.
We do get a then sweet moment where Bobby pours some of Rufus's favorite drink, Johnny Walker Blue Label, which we got from.
That's the most expensive one of the color label rankings for Johnny Walker, right?
I don't say that around Hungary.
I didn't say colored. I said the color label.
Yeah.
I think blue is the most expensive.
It is, yeah.
What is the most expensive Johnny Walker you've had? Like of the
black.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had green once.
Whoa, hey.
I mean, I didn't buy it.
Sure. Yeah. I think I had, it wasn't Johnny Walker, but I did have some like whiskey that was like a really, really expensive ones.
Ooh.
And I was at I was like dating a girl at her time, and I went to like her uncle's house, and he was like, hey, like come check out this whiskey.
It's in the basement. I've just got it in the back of my van.
But he pours me a glass and is with a couple other guys, and he's like, "Here, try this." And I literally grabbed it and just like shot it back.
I told you about this. My sister did that one time. My cousin, who you know, brought like nice whiskey to a family party, and we were doing like a tasting. We were like, okay, well, let's do this. We looked over and she had slammed it back. Yeah, too. It's like someone's in university.
Well, also, and I was probably like 22 at the time. Yeah, and this guy's like a shocked face, and he was just like, "Do you have any idea how much that was worth?" Like,
yeah, I mean, you were gonna drink it anyway.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be the hang up.
I know. Whatever. But Bobby, pours this Johnny Walker Blue Label, which we saw the first time we were introduced to Rufus. On the grave, and then taking a drink himself, and that is the end of this episode.
Holy shit.
Eve's in town, and is
after the boys, I guess,
for some reason. Yeah. But before we talk about our reviews,
it's time for the Fuck You Samuel Campbell Memorial. Who is the biggest asshole
this episode
segment?
Yeah. God, why am I introducing this now? I guess there's no escape. I may as well perfect it.
He loves it. you fucking love it.
Who do you
I think this might be the last episode of it.
Because, and who else would it be but Samuel?
I think we have to give it to the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Michael Jordan of being a fucking prick.
The Michael Jordan of no remorse.
Yeah, also known as Michael Jordan.
I mean, yeah. Just cut to Samuel going like, and I took that personally. Yeah, it's got to be Samuel.
Yeah,
no remorse.
No,
such like a attitude. Yeah. Like no appreciation for Bobby. No like.
Look, Monster's gonna monster, but
he's
Samuel's
been lying to Gwen. He's like he can't even own his shittiness.
Absolutely,
he's a fucking coward. And 100%. I'm glad that he died twice in this episode. I do think there's like, I wonder if there was a little bit of a thing in the writer's room where it's like, people really don't like Samuel. Can we kill him twice? And they like, I had that thought while I was watching the episode where it's like, man, he gets shot in the head and he gets such like a good like comic like electric death. I was like, that feels like Mystery Spot excessive. I wondered if I wonder if that's like a little.
As he passes away, he whispers to Sam and Dean, "Your mom's a great makeout."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they could one up him.
I mean, what?
They've been in her.
Oh, Jesus Christ! What's your review of this episode? Good God.
Okay, my review of this episode. Mm-hmm. I do like that some plot threads are coalescing slightly.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of a new monster.
Yeah.
Like, we're in uncharted territory, and this is the real threat of the mother of all.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. I think it gets messy that she's calling herself Eve, because I don't think we ever established that she is Eve.
Yeah.
I also, in the scene where she's with the trucker, she goes, Jesus was just a man. So is it implied that everything in the Bible is real except for Jesus?
Yeah, that's preposterous.
But it's just like, it's just very funny to me.
That is very funny.
I think having like all the hunters not know who the thing is, like that kind of tension works well. There's good like character moments between Rufus and Bobby and between the boys and Bobby and the boys and Samuel. Like the performances are good. Mitch Pileggi's great. You know, like I think all of that's really solid. Devastating to lose. I mean, the Gwen moment's devastating too, even though that's a character we're like, whatever.
Yeah. But
just that Dean doing it so cold and that she was on his side, like she could have been part of the family, you know what I mean? Like that, you're sort of like, you're robbed of, and she's robbed of that potential of like real family. Rufus dying is so brutal. The fact that Bobby's gonna have to live with it, but you kind of also get the sense in that cemetery scene that Bobby's just like fine. Like there's no, like both Bobby and Dean, I don't think we get like the weight of like what this thing made me do.
Yeah.
You know, that's a little missing, and I don't remember if it actually like hits later, but I don't think it does. So I think it's a fine episode with some interesting effects, good performances, but pretty like bleh. Let's say I'd give it 3.5 little don't finish that sentence.
Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, I forgot how much I like this episode, especially for this season.
Yeah.
This is a great episode. It's a bottle episode mostly. You're basically all inside this cannery. Great old man energy we got through this. Just a bunch of like old guys who are like,
totally.
I'm too old for this shit.
I'm already going to adjust up, but I'm not breaking out of this realm. I'm going 3.75.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a ton of fun with this episode. I think that like it doesn't like do the full gamut of like what supernatural episodes can be.
Yeah.
But I think the writing is pretty solid. I like the way that they wrote that Bobby and Rufus thing, because it just sort of like, how often do you not get to like tie up a loose end? Like he dies at the end of this episode, and that's like, he never forgave him for Omaha. Like, that's just a reality of this hunter life, and it gives us sort of like this thing that like sort of also makes Bobby a little bit sadder as a character, and I kind of like that because it makes him a bit more interesting.
I agree.
He doesn't just like know everything.
I don't think the stuff with them is the weak point. I think it's the thread. Like, I don't think the Mother of All's that good.
No, I mean, look, we'll talk about this throughout the series because they definitely fail with this character, and I don't think they have enough of an idea. But that's barely a part of this. Like,
but then that also then that weakens the central premise. That like, even though I'm enjoying the like who has the worm or whatever, but the like why of it all is like doesn't exist. There's no good reason for this episode to have happened.
I know.
When it's happening, it's going quite well.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for it to exist.
But I think like a reason and like the like it existing are two different things. And I think like on its own, it is a good episode.
Sure.
I like the actress that plays Eve. I think that there's a lot of menace behind this idea that of the like, before we actually know that they don't really do a great job with this, like the theory and the concept of this character is interesting.
Yes.
And we're finally getting introduced to like a thing this season, which is fun.
Sure. Right.
Which I like. And so for me, it's like, it brings up a lot of excitement of like, oh, okay, this is an interesting concept. This mother of all monsters. It's like we got introduced to purgatory. Like we're finally starting to like pay off on some of these ideas. And so I do like this episode. Like by the end of it, I was like, that's a solid episode. I could just watch that on a random day and be happy with it.
Right.
Like it's not like a top episode, but it's like one of the best episodes this season. Which isn't saying much for this season, I know, but like that's the reality of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right.
So I'm gonna give this 4.25 ecto fingers out of 5.
4.25. Very good.
Remember, we're counting these based on these seasons too, and I think it's important to say like we're comparing this to its season that it's in.
That's true.
Which is like the French Mistake should be a fucking 10 out of 5, but
well, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
But yeah,
interesting.
So those are our reviews. But before we go, we got a couple notes from fellow hunters.
Ooh, all right, let's have it.
I brought into 2 because one was really short and mostly just a statement, but then we'll go to the next one.
Okay.
So the first one, titled Season 5, Episode 3.
Okay. Season 5, Episode 3. Which one is that?
You'll know in about 2 seconds.
Okay.
Read. It was a brothel. There weren't.
How could it exist? It's not legal.
There weren't stages or anyone dancing. Private dances don't happen in separate rooms with doors.
How could it be a business if it's not legal?
Dean was broadcast there to get laid. It's a brothel. Love the podcast. I'll write more later about how much I love it, but just needed to get that off my chest. Liz.
I don't think that makes any goddamn sense.
Okay, let's go to the next note. So good. All right. Next note. In your most recent episode, The French Mistake, you talked about Misha Collins starting the scavenger hunt.
Right.
I am so sad that Gish came to an end last year.
Oh.
As I have been a team captain.
Only last year it survived COVID and then just stopped after.
I know.
Weird.
As I have been the team captain of the Wayward Weirdos since 2016.
Oh, that's fun.
And it has been such an amazing journey. I have met some amazing people that I have yet to meet IRL, but that will change this year. Over the years, we have done some crazy stuff, including riding a mechanical bull in the Zen position, made a bikini out of old holiday sweaters.
Oh, that's fun.
And covered myself and my husband in maple syrup and leaves in honor of Canada's 150th birthday.
Yeah, we all did that too.
Yeah, that's just Canada.
That's the traditional celebration.
Yeah. I am so glad that you included it in your episode recap. Please keep up the great work. I wrote once before, and you read my letter, which still makes me smile, about how angels are bad detectives.
True.
I'm from Lynchburg. Yes, it was named after a person, but no, that doesn't make it any better. Look up Jerry Falwell.
Yeah, they fucking love Agatha Christie there, too.
Love you guys. Christina, Lynchburg, VA, and then they include some images of the things that they were just talking about.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh, that's some maple syrup and leaves.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah, and then the bikini.
Oh, that's cute. That's fun.
Festive soup for the Floridian who loves the holidays.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah.
Crazy that this international scavenger hunt survived COVID and then shut down after.
I know. Insane. Thank you so much, Christina.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was super, super fun. All right. Well, if you want to continue this discussion, much like someone like Christine or some of the other folks that we have on there, you can join the hunters on our Discord.
Yeah. If you go to patreon.com/ghostfacers, it's only $1 a month. It gives you access to Angel Radio, our awesome community Discord server.
Where you can unleash your childhood traumas.
People in there are so nice. It's a very lovely community. We're having a great time.
Yeah.
And it helps to support us.
Yeah. And if you want to support us, then you're good in my books.
And by the way, people on Angel Radio, just sound off on who do you prefer to manage the lore? I think we know what the response will be.
Hashtag yes, Richard, for the betrayal that has been caused today.
Sorry, you think you were betrayed?
I was
You were a
betrayed.
real fucking Samuel of yourself.
If this was a betrayal, everyone considers it so. Sound off.
I'm going to put us in our relative positions here.
Hello.
You're Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm Rufus.
Oh my God.
I will never forgive you.
Well, that's fine because you're about to die. It seems like we all get what we want.
I mean...
all right. Also, if you want to send a note like we got today, if you want to shame Reed for something that he's done or...
shame me for not knowing what a brothel is. I'm just a good little boy.
Subscribe to our Patreon on Dr.
I don't go
DC.
to a brothel. I just fuck in an alley.
With a married woman.
Shut the God damn it. Ow.
You could send us a note to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to
my
us
back
through our various social media platforms.
At GhostfacersPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Also, we've got merch at ghostfacerspodcaststore.com.
Yeah.
And
we're going to put out the Hungarian titles for this season.
Oh, no. Subscribe to
I'm glad we didn't keep up that trend where we were like, we'll do it every season.
I know. Yikes. Subscribe to Dr. DC, our other podcast.
Yeah, we talk about DC Comics, superheroes, and the Justice League and stuff. If you like how we talk about lore over here, you might enjoy how we talk about...
Get through it.
We talk about that stuff.
Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.